The popular TV series American Gods has finished its third season. The show has introduced many new characters and particularly new characters inspired by African mythology. In part 1 of this series, we covered the characters introduced in season 1, and on this episode, we will cover the African inspired deities in season 2 and 3. Let's get into it right now. The first character on our list is Baron Samedi. Baron Samedi is part of the Haitian deities called the Gede and Gedelia, the spirits of the dead. The Gede are part of the Caribbean voodoo pantheon that are not based off of an African counterpart, but rather originated in the Caribbean. Baron Samedi is one of the most powerful of the Gede and is believed to be the father of hundreds of Gede and Gedelia. He is also believed to be very wise, as he has the knowledge of the dead and of the living. When Baron leaves the land of the dead, it is said that he must wear the dark sunglasses to protect his eyes from the bright light. However, it is believed that he takes out the right lens of these glasses. So through one eye, he sees the land of the dead, and through the other, he sees the land of the living. The very occurrence of sunglasses show how recent Baron Samedi's beliefs emerged relative to the other deities in this list. When he appears on Earth, it is believed that he wears formal European-style attire, which includes a top hat, a tailcoat, and a long black cane with a skull handle. Baron Samedi falls into the trickster god category, as he is known for being a partier and even makes his own liquor. A raw clarin, a form of cheap rum, steeped in 21 herbs, that is so spicy no other deity can bear to drink it. In addition, Baron often takes time in lewd acts that mock people who take themselves too seriously. His believers say that this was a way to remind humanity of the inevitable truth that all humans eventually end in the land of the Baron, the land of death. Baron has a wife called Grande Brigitte. She is also the ruler of the afterlife and the mother of the Gede and Gedelia. Baron Samedi and Grande Brigitte have a playful rivalry, and it is believed that they do not spend time with each other, but on the rare occasions that they meet, all in the area flee, as the believers know that this would only result in a long drawn-out brawl between the married couple. It is said that the first body buried in a cemetery becomes the manifestation of the Baron, guardian of the cemetery. The colors associated with the Baron are black, purple, and white. His symbols are a skeleton, a coffin, a black cross, and farm implements. Next up, we have Oshun, one of the most powerful goddesses among the Yoruba people. She is the goddess of rivers and represents purity, sensuality, love, and fertility. She has a wide range of followers across West Africa and the Americas. Oshun's beliefs originated from the Yoruba people. In their belief, she is one of the first Orishas created. In the Yoruba religion, the world is filled with Orishas, beings that serve as mediators between humans and the Supreme God, each possessing their own unique powers that are used to enforce justice and retribution. Oshun is characterized as the protector, savior, or nurturer of humanity. She is associated with healing, water, honey, and brass. Her name means source. This has been taken to mean the source of all water, as well as the source of human life. Occasionally, Oshun is displayed with attributes such as vanity, jealousy, and spite towards those who may double-cross her. She manipulates water to cause floods, or withholds it to cause a drought. However, all of this ceases to an end once she is appeased. In a story about the creation of humankind, Oshun is said to have been the only female out of the 17 Orishas sent to earth by the Supreme God. The male Orishas undermined Oshun by excluding her from their mission. When they were unable to perform their task, they were too ashamed to ask her for help after neglecting her, so they went back to heaven to report their failure to the Supreme God. However, the Supreme God sent them back to seek Oshun's support, stating that she is the solution to their problem. Consequently, the Orishas did as they were told they went back to ask Oshun, the source of all life, for help, hence the creation of humankind. To this day, Oshun is worshipped and celebrated annually at the city of Oshogbo in Nigeria, where it is believed that Oshun had her first interaction with humans. People travel to the Oshun River annually during this festival to give their respect, make sacrifices, and ask for different blessings such as wealth, health, and children. During the Atlantic slave trade, many of her followers brought her beliefs to the Americas. She is referred to as Oshun in Cuba, Trinidad, and other Caribbean countries. And in Brazil, she takes the name Oxum, where she is still celebrated across the Americas. The next Orisha is Shango. Shango is Orisha of thunder, lightning, and fire. His ritual weapon is the Oshe, the double-headed axe, which symbolizes the traits of warfare and the importance of attacking his enemies to Shango. As an Orisha, he came to represent the wrath of God, punishing evil with his stern justice. For this reason, Shango is often called by the title Oba Jakete, the king who hurls stones. He shoots lightning bolts at evildoers. Despite his violent nature, Shango is one of the most revered Orishas. He is seen as the means of which the supreme god administers justice. It is believed that Shango is against all those who lie, steal, and otherwise corrupt society. In the Yoruba religion, it is believed Shango had a human origin, and that he was the fourth king of Oyo, located in present-day Nigeria. His reign was one of the most prosperous times in the kingdom. According to the stories, one of his generals challenged Shango for the throne. Shango felt betrayed, not only by the general, but by his people, most of whom had sided with the general. In one of the stories, Shango left the kingdom out of despair and took his own life. However, many of his followers believed that their king did not commit suicide, but rather transformed into an Orisha. Shango myths became incorporated into the kingship of Oyo, and his worship spread as the Oyo dominated other kingdoms in the region. The beliefs continued even after the Oyo domination ended. In the Yoruba myths, Yamoja is metaphorically referred to as the mother of the Orisha. In some traditions, she is said to have been the mother of the Orishas such as Oshun, Shango, Oya, Ogun, and others. Although other traditions say that she did not give birth to any of the Orisha, but rather acted as mother in raising these beings. Yamoja's name is derived from the Yoruba words Yeye or Aya, meaning mother, Omo, meaning child or children, and Eja, meaning fish, and thus her name literally translates into mother whose children are the fish. Yamoja, like many Orishas, was associated with rivers and later with oceans and seas. At times she is depicted as a mermaid. She is the owner of the Ogun River, the largest river within the territory of Yoruba land, and is the counterpart of Olokun, who represents the unknowable bottom of the sea. In one of the major stories of Yamoja, she is placed as one of the primordial spirits who was responsible for creating humanity. Although we see this change with Oshun at times, in this story Yamoja descends to the earth on a rope with 16 other Orishas. She was charged by the supreme god to make the earth inhabitable for humankind. Yamoja has the ability to interpret the Odu Ife, the sacred text of the Yoruba religion. She was also the one who taught the other Orishas this skill, as well as the one who gives initiated human priests this ability as well. Although Yamoja appears throughout the Odu Ife, she is greatly represented in the Odu Idi, the books that speak on civilization, nationalism, maintenance, and protection. Yamoja is the Orisha of fertility and is said to be the protector of sailors, dog workers, fishermen and women, and all those who live and work around the water. She is often depicted in clothes of blue with white. The number 7 is associated with her and her devotees wear 7 silver bracelets to honor her. We see Yamoja abroad in the Americas. In Cuba, she takes the name Yamoja. In Brazil, her followers call her Yamoja and have held her holiday on New Year's Eve since the 1930s. In New York City, her followers celebrate her on the beachfront holiday called Bembe, either on or close to her feast day on August 7th. The next deity is Aye. Aye is arguably one of the most significant deities in the Yoruba religion because according to their belief system, the cosmos is divided into 2. Orun, which means the sky, and Aye, which means the earth. Aye and Orun, the earth and the sky, are seen as the parts of the supreme god Oludumare. In this regard, it is strange to see Aye along with Oshun, Yamoja, and Shango, but it is not impossible that these beings would interact. The final being we will cover is Iku. In the Yoruba pantheon, Iku is the personification of death. He is part of the Ajogun, which means the warriors against humanity and the good forces of nature. There are 8 warlords of the Ajogun. Iku, who represents death, Arun, who represents disease, Ofo, who represents loss, Eba, who represents paralysis, Oran, who represents trouble, Epe, who represents curse, Ewon, who represents imprisonment, and Ese, who represents afflictions. Which character is your favorite in the show so far? Let us know in the comment section. Check out our playlist on African mythology if you want to learn more about African deities. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. And we'll see you on the next episode of Humble History.